I was listening to a podcast on the way to work. It was the Gartner ThinkCast. So there's a little plug for Gartner. But they were interviewing a lady called Tamara McCleary, and she was talking about, how you make things happen in the now. Essentially work-life balance and how you make sense of your day in terms of being happy about the amount of time you spent on work versus family versus whatever else you might do. And she had this really cool theory, which I just want to share because I've been mulling it over and thinking about it a lot, and it's making sense to me. She talked about the fact that you shouldn't think about, you shouldn't compartmentalize work into, 9 to 5 and personal life, outside of that for a start. That, because we're always connected and on, and in fact, the line between work and personal is pretty blurry these days, that you should think about it as being more blurry. She talked also about the fact that you shouldn't just think about how you've performed on any particular day, so Monday versus Tuesday, Wednesday. Sometimes I think to myself, on Monday, did really well on Monday, got back into work, completely, cleared lots of things on my list. Tuesday, I had to, first of all, I was dropping the kids off at school, so I wasn't able to do that early start, which can often, push you forward in terms of your work day. And then I had that medical appointment in the afternoon, so, I'm kind of feeling like perhaps I haven't done enough work versus, personal things. That instead of thinking like that is outdated and unhelpful, that you should think about it instead as, how you've performed in a given week. And also over a 24-hour period, do you feel happy and joyful about what you've done during that period? So forget about what the balance was between work and personal, but are you happy with how that day was? Because if you're keeping score, you're never going to be happy. And also, if other people are keeping score on you, you're even less likely to be happy. And I think that kind of makes sense for me because my week tends to be all over the place. So I work full time. I have 3 children, and I've got good support systems and things like that in place. But there's a lot going on during that week, and no week's the kind of same. So it changes up depending on what I'm doing, what my husband's doing, what the kids have got on, what work's got on, and we kind of swings and balances kind of make it all work, if that makes sense. So one day I may have done awfully long hours at work. The next day it might not be as much, but I've had to do more personal things. I've had 2 kids' medical appointments plus a school assembly or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it all works out, particularly if you've got good values around, making, working hard and being fair, fair days, pay for a fair day's work, that kind of thing. I think that really helps. So I really like Tamara McCleary's thesis around, over any given 24-hour period, have you enjoyed it? Has it worked? And then over a week, in general, has it all worked out in terms of you being able to deliver your responsibilities, both to your family, and your work over that longer period of time? I think that is a much more helpful concept than how you've just performed over one day and whether you think you've given the fair amount of time to each. So I hope that's kind of works for you as well. It certainly worked for me. Let me know what you think.